Welcome to the Behavioral Safety Lack of Concentration and Diminishing the Risk training. The purpose of the course is to provide a general understanding of the 5 behavioral safety traps, the concepts for each trap, and learn ways to ingrain behavioral safety into our TKE safety culture. Throughout the training, you should have a current copy of the TKE Safety Manual available as a reference. Also, throughout the training you may access the Safety Lobby page for additional resources. Please be sure to ask questions if you have any throughout the course. Understand the 5 behavioral traps concepts. Learn multiple ways to ingrain behavioral safety into the safety tools already in place. Understand how our attitude and behaviors towards safety influence others. Identify ways to combat the 5 behavioral traps in the work environment and in our personal life. Lack of concentration. In many accidents, loss of concentration plays a part. Very little study has been done on this, so we don't know exact numbers. However, it's common sense that if a person is angry, frustrated, worried, or even elated by something, his/her mind will not be fully on the job and accidents are more likely. We humans are easily distracted by just about anything, and it gets worse when we have done something many times before, or we have worked in the same place for a long while. We use the first mind when we are fully awake and engaged in what we're doing. However, when the second mind, subconscious, butts in for 3 seconds or more, we are then daydreaming or drifting off. We have to stop this happening at the workplace, or we'll be hurt. We can A. train our second mind to not distract us so much, and B. we can know when the second mind has such a strong hold on us that we have to stop the job because we can't concentrate. Behavioral Safety Lack of Concentration Part 2. Detailed explanation of lack of concentration. Routine tasks occupy my mind only to a small extent, so it's easy for me to get distracted by other things. Why is that so? Sometimes we are simply not aware of the risk as the situation is so familiar. The more frequently we repeat the same experiences, the more automatic they become. Some people say, for example, I can do that in my sleep, I can do that with my eyes shut, I just use my gut instinct. Or I trust my intuition. We always mean the same thing. Our brains recognize repetitive actions and store them as fixed routines in our subconscious. That's practical because we can recall and implement everything from our subconscious very quickly and easily. It becomes problematic when the reality varies from the routine in our subconscious. It may be that nothing has ever happened before, we behave the way we always have done, and suddenly that's not enough anymore, it's a mistake and possibly a risk. Diminishing risks. Diminishing risks. Basic facts. Almost all people know what they should or should not do. However, sometimes we don't want to do what we should and we want to do what we shouldn't. In these circumstances, we play a trick on ourselves. We make up an excuse to say it's okay. At work, these mental excuses are dangerous because it means we have seen a hazard but we are minimizing, diminishing its seriousness. If we can recognize the excuses we make to ourselves and the excuses others make, we can stop and assess why we are making them. Maybe it won't be important, but it could just be that an excuse is hiding a huge hazard. We won't know until we stop and check. Detailed explanation of diminishing risks. I talk down risks to make things easier for myself or save time. Why is that so? Sometimes we talk down risks because it's easier or saves time. Excuses are like the voice of a friend in our head. The friend wants to make things easy for us, wants us to have fun, experience good times, and either avoid everything that gets in the way or get it over with as quickly as possible. We hear the messages and let them convince us. But sometimes this friend isn't good for us because they only know the here and now. However, we know that some things which feel good and easy now can have unpleasant or even dangerous consequences. Because doubt and caution also want to be heard, there is sometimes an inner conflict. If the friend that is bad for us wins out, we take risks even though we know better and make mistakes which can have serious consequences. Thank you for completing the Behavioral Safety Part 2 training.